Yellow! Welcome to A Moment with Abby. Ding! Hey guys, it's been a while. It wasn't intentional. It was more of I could not bring myself to come on here every week and tell you guys about how sad I was. This year we started, and I say we, the people of the UK and those that live inside of it decided to go into the third lockdown. And man, did that hit me. And I don't mean to have this be some type of downer or some type of like, woe is me. But I really need to tell you guys, this is why. Now, I had intended on keeping our life very private. And of course, I'm going to continue to do that with my children and my husband and stuff. But there's a huge part of my life that I don't share on here because I wanted to keep this for me. And I realized I can't keep doing it because it makes no sense unless I share this. And it's not even a deep, dark secret. People who know me personally, they all know this. But I've never spoken about how my husband is in the military. Well, duh. It's a huge part of my life. Not that I'm in the military. Not that I'm in the military, but the fact that our whole lives living here in England is just surrounded and wrapped by the military. And I can't really share a lot of things because it's kind of like, it's very much attached to, life and where I live. We have the base, and it's just, it has been you're going to hear my dog barking now and then because he doesn't know when to not be quiet. But the base and everything that goes along with this third lockdown the base has been like a blessing. And I can't keep hiding that part, as in not so much oh, it's so secret hiding, more of I can't keep it separate because it has been a light in the past few months. So the UK went into lockdown on January 4th or 5th. I can't remember the date. And I can't be bothered with finding that date out because honestly, it sucked. But the base here has been working with the UK government to help Americans who live out here with ways to help cope with this lockdown. We don't have the opportunity to really have bubbles with our families, the social bubbles, but we're able to create bubbles within our little military family community that's, small, or people that we are able to see, on base through our spouse's work and things. So, I just really appreciated being able to get out and not have to see these four walls every day. I don't want to harp on this, and I don't want to make this all about just how, oh, Abby's so sad. Well, I have been, and we all know that I do deal with, since, this is going to sound terrible. Since moving to England, I've dealt with seasonal depression, and really, it's because my body loves the sun, and I didn't realize how much vitamin D really affects your mental health and your body and everything, muscles, everything. And so the base has been able to give me a little bit of an outlet through that. And I don't want to harp on how sad I've been, but I do want to discuss and kind of go over this past year, especially what I have come to really go over, and just even this past couple months being in lockdown 3, there's been a lot of perspective. Now we can go all the way back to March, and we can even go a little bit further back into January, February. You start hearing about this weird flu. They're not exactly sure. And we all remember they were kind of it's a really bad version of the, regular flu. And then you start hearing that it's coming out of China, and that there's, and this is not like a political, like, oh, this is, how, we're going to change history. No, like literally, I went back on past posts on, for news, for myself, for other things. And there's whispers, and then there's kind of like rumors of this flu coming out of the markets, the wet markets of China. And everyone's like, it's China. It's not gonna affect us. We all thought of like, well, if it's not Ebola, well, we'll figure it out. It's just like the flu. We'll all get it. We'll be fine. Well, then you come March and it starts getting worse. I did have my birthday party at a tea shop, which was March. It's like, I think it was literally on March 5th. And you're kind of like, ooh, hey, we're hanging out. Like, wouldn't it be, terrible if this flu, like, not like took us all out like death, but like really affected all of us? And, but it wasn't even like the main topic of conversation. It was more of just talking about, oh my gosh, I'm close to 40. Or talking about just about how delicious the food is and our trips that we have planned coming up and all this stuff. And then come mid-March, that's when you start hearing about the curve, and you start hearing about potential of closing, communities or like public spaces. And you're like, what? This is insane. What are you talking about? And in our minds, because we're fragile little tiny beings that don't, that really just think about what's in front of us. We're like, there's no way you can shut down a full country or even like make people stay home. What are you talking about? Well, come March, I think it was 25th. My kids are in virtual school. We were very naive and very excited about the opportunity to stay home for a little bit and do school for 3 weeks, so that way we could lessen the curve. We're going to flatten it. We're going to flatten this curve of people getting the flu or this COVID-19. Not even sure exactly, what this is, but, flatten the curve for 3 weeks, and then we're going to be fine. And we can go on our trip to Disney, Paris, and we can go to Amsterdam. And yes, these are real trips that we had planned. We wanted to go to Amsterdam twice. Didn't happen. My daughter had a trip to Disney Paris, and that was in May. So we were thinking March, May. There is plenty of time to get past this just seasonal flu. This new seasonal flu, because, we've had coronavirus for years, and yeah, we have. But COVID-19's different. During those 3 weeks, we were dealing with really warm weather, and we were outside laying on blankets for school. And it was just, an opportunity to hang out as a family. My husband came home from a class in the States, and he had to quarantine kind of for a bit he wasn't able to go out and, grocery shopping or whatever. And I remember also just being afraid to go outside and being near people. And it was this new weird feeling. I don't know if you guys had that feeling of, I don't need to come in contact with anyone outside my family at this moment because I don't know what they're carrying. I don't know where they've been. And it was almost... It wasn't like, petrifying, but it was scary to go to the grocery store because you're with other people from other homes and you're not knowing what they're doing, and you don't even know if they're a part of the medical community, and it was a lot. And I remember coming home, and we had, we'd been in the house for about 2.5 weeks, and, they tell you here in England, don't take grocery slots for delivery unless you are vulnerable. And of course, I'd go out and I'd go shopping for the family. And I remember just, telling my family, let's get out and walk. And so we would go out and walk. And it was so weird. We walked for a really long time in the fields over here. I mean, England, basically every town, village, everything is connected by a walking path of some sort. This is a very, public transportation / walking country, and it's awesome. I think that it's fantastic, and I wish other places in America had this, but you know, America's huge. So yeah, the opportunity to have like a walking path from, I don't know, Dallas to Fort Worth, I mean, it's possible, but maybe not safely. But anyways, so we took a walk on like fields and, sorry, my dog barks, on fields and through where horses go and through just woods and stuff, and it's beautiful, and they have signs so that we don't get lost. And I remember coming home and I was like so nervous. We'd been outside for a long time. We've been outside for like over an hour walking, and I'm like, okay guys, this is what we got to do. We got to leave our shoes at the door. We have to make sure that we put our clothes in the washer and just, you know, wash your hands. And it felt exhausting even back then. And I thought, or I didn't think, I talked to Jason and I said, how can we keep this up? You know, I mean, I had heard that people in the States were wiping their groceries down when they would get them. And honestly, I never did it. I probably should have, but I never did it. And it was almost like, goodness sakes, like everyone is so cautious, and I understand, and I'm not going to take that away because people, and this is not something to take away from people if they've lost somebody to COVID or to be disrespectful in any way. But it was almost at the time just like, this is a lot for something that is considered just like a little worse than like the normal flu. And then I was already tired. Because you're also dealing with 3 other humans that you're raising and their mental health and their questions about stuff that I don't know. I would tell them like, I'm going through this pandemic with you guys for the first time ever, you know, just like you. I'm new to this. And so I just remember those first 3 weeks just like being so cautious and so nervous and like making sure like my parents were okay. And even though I couldn't do anything here, I wanted to like have some type of weird, I don't know, control. And when you live overseas as a military family, you have this weird feeling of just wanting to make sure everybody is as they were when you left. It doesn't make sense, honestly, because we all know people change. But it's like you want everybody to be okay. So that when you go home, you have this, like my favorite food my mom makes. And, you know, she makes everything that's wonderful. But for some reason, I was pregnant with my first daughter and all I wanted was stew. And so every time I go home, I'm like, that stew sounds delicious. And it's like, it's the summer, Abby. No, like it sounds delicious. Only because I have this wonderful memory wrapped around my mom's stew. And, you know, honestly, it's with any food. Any food that I don't have to cook and my mom makes, I'm all about it. Poor lady. Let me tell you a little side note. When she comes to visit me, no matter where I'm at, she cooks for me the whole time. And it's like my birthday, Christmas, Easter, all of it wrapped up into one. It's poor woman. But she knows I love it. And I'm going to take advantage, right? So anyhow, you know, going back to living as military families overseas and this weird pandemic, you have this like, you know, you want to just call them every day and be like, y'all washed your hands, right? Or like, you guys have enough hand sanitizer, right? And I remember the States they were going into lockdown a little bit later than we were. And I sent like gadget, fidgety type toys to my nieces and nephews in the States. The little ones got like binoculars because I knew they were going to go on walks and they wanted to see like the animal life. So we sent them binoculars. And then the older cousins, we sent them like these really cool 3D puzzles that you have to be like, you know, these kids are super smart. It's kind of like, you know, you have to be so smart to put these together. But, you know, we were able to here do a little something for them over there, because then you start feeling like, okay, this world is smaller than than it really is, and if we bring a little bit of joy, you know, to our families, then we're doing better than just sitting in our homes being scared all the time. And so then the months start to pass, and then you are like, wait a minute, you guys want to give me a refund for our Disney trip in Paris? It's in May. And they're like, well, it's not going to happen. And you're like, come on. You all got to figure this out. What do you mean we're not going to go? And then, then you get your refund back, like a little receipt saying you're getting your money back. And you're like, damn it. What do you mean? And then you want to start making plans. And then you start hearing that freaking Ryanair is not going to start refunding people. It's more of a, well, maybe we'll give you a coupon for when we can start flying again. And there's this weird, surreal sense of, holy crap, I think I'm stranded. And it's not even the fact that we couldn't travel at this time outside of our country, because we could have. It was the fact of, can I get back? Because then they started closing the borders like 24 or 48 with 24 or 48 hours notice from certain countries. And you're like, what in the hell? Like, maybe we shouldn't try to travel to, I don't know. I think we wanted to go to Germany. No, can't happen unless you want to quarantine. No, I don't want to quarantine. Do you want to quarantine? Hell no. I already felt like I've been quarantining for like 2 months now. And technically we had been. So, come summertime, we start to get little hints that we could, I don't know, go out and drink in a pub in the garden. You're like, yes, the weather has been beautiful for months. Honestly, March was the most beautiful it has been since I lived here. I mean, we were laying on blankets in the backyard, and our dog was like, excuse me, this is my space. And it was just wonderful to be outside. Well, the opportunity to go outside and drink a couple of, I don't know, I'm not a huge drinker, but the opportunity to go outside and have anything in the garden with other humans, it was like drugs to me. I was like, yes, give me the high. I want to be around people. I am an extrovert. Hello, I have a podcast. I am an extrovert. And being forced inside, I don't know if my other extrovert, like brothers and sisters, just have felt this pandemic on us so hard. Because, I would have moments of just like wanting to scream, or like there's a couple times it's so stupid. I would stretch and like put my arms out. I'm like, I just want to get out. I just want to, like, I'm doing it now. Like I'm stretching, and I would be like, I feel like, even though I'm stretching far and wide, and I'm only 5'2", just stretching out. Like I can't get far enough from this place. I can't feel like I'm like as big as I want to be, like out in the world. And it was really hard. So I think, yes, Rico feels me. He's an extrovert, and he's a terrorist. Anywho. So, last year, I feel like we've been robbed of this year, and I feel awful for people that lost loved ones to this pandemic. Oh my gosh, it's just been so sad. So, being in lockdown 1, we were naive. Coming out of it with different restrictions, it just felt wonderful and a little freeing. And we were able to do a lot of traveling last year within England. Not even Wales, not even Scotland. We have our wonderful friends who are in Scotland that we haven't seen. And it's been feeling very like claustrophobic. So then we went into lockdown 2. That's where this podcast was born. And it felt like, okay, guys, like we got to stick to this and like get together as a group, and we're going to get through this. Well, come Christmas, they're like, we're going to have to really shut things down again. And then you start hearing whispers of, there's going to be a third lockdown. And you're like, no. We got this, guys. We got this. We're going to be fine. We're going to be totally fine. So then the third lockdown comes in, and I'm like, I'm going to keep up with the same enthusiasm as much as I can. And oh no, it was exhausting. And, I see a lot of stuff out there about emotional, I can't remember the exact words, but it's more of it just emotional exhaustion, or it's just because we're dealing with all of this all at once, all together, everybody. And whether you're an introvert, extrovert, is everywhere in between. We are all affected. This is a trauma. Holy crap, this is a huge trauma for everybody. And I am not an expert, and that's why I turned to my friend Kirby for this, as you guys know. And I turned to other experts, and it's been really hard. And it, not only on top of that, we're dealing with, oh guys, hey, we could do this from Zoom. Oh guys, hey, we could do this from like Facebook Messenger as a, video chat. We could do this from, all this blah, blah, blah. I don't wanna. I want to get my vaccine, and I want to do this in person. I'll wear the mask. I will wear, a whole bodysuit so I can go look at people and talk to them face to face, not, like in person, not on a screen. I mean, it's nice once in a while, but I would much rather be in a room with other people to discuss stuff than over the internet. Since our family's been in the military, I have always talked to my family over the phone, over all social media platforms, video chattings, everything, Skype, everything. And that has always been just reserved for them. So the fact that I had to do that all day or day for like every little thing it's been a lot. And I didn't want this to be turned into one big downer. I guess because I do view this as my like video diary, or my audio diary for my mom, my grandma, my Nina. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there, just a little bit raw for this time, because it's a year in review for A Moment with Abby. So no worries. The next podcast will probably be super lighthearted and like dumb like the other ones, as we all love. But this one I needed to get off my chest. So, like I said before, we are part of the military community, the American military community here in England. And as Americans, it has been so difficult seeing family back at home being able to do things normally, where you're able to go on vacation, let's think. At the time, we couldn't even leave 5 miles from our village. So being 20 miles from your house was like, oh my gosh, you guys drove to Dallas from Fort Worth? I know, Rico. It's ridiculous. Like, wow. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh, you guys got to go to IKEA with your masks on? Oh, that's cool. It must be nice. Oh, you guys are going to the beach for the 4th time? That's really cool, guys. Thanks. So it's been so weird. I saw this graphic earlier of Texas put over Europe. And let me tell you, Texas takes up like 7 something countries, like ridiculous. So you could literally spend all day in Texas, never leave, drive all over the place and never leave the state. But the moment, you're in Europe and you're driving, you're like, oh yeah, 6 hours to Germany, no big, I got this. So being cooped up and not being able to leave, and then you hear rumors of people being stopped on their way to the base. It's by the local police. It's like, do I really want to get out of my house today? Oh, maybe I should take that click and collect, because I'm so tired of just going to the store to buy groceries. We haven't had an opportunity to go shopping even at my favorite store, Primark. I mean, today, actually, guys, a little bit of sunshine. Today, April 12th, we are able to shop for clothes in person. We're able to do things outside of grocery stores that have clothes. We have been buying clothes online, and I'm not a fan. Even the teenagers are like, these clothes are cool and all, but let me tell you about those size differences. I'm like, girls, yes, I know exactly how you feel. We want to just be in person. So even though I know we're not going to be able to try clothes in Primark, I just want to go and smell things. I really want to go to like watch people. I'm a huge people watcher. So this is so weird, but like the fact that I'm able to go to a clothing store that they did not deem essential at the time, because apparently children don't grow. It's just like yes. I can't even put into words. It's just satisfying to get out. Or you know what? Satisfying to have the opportunity to get out. Now, there's been a lot of people out there on Facebook or Twitter and stuff saying, who's waiting in line at midnight for Primark? And don't you believe that I was like, who do I know who owns a parka? Because it was cold last night. Oh, and let me tell you a little something about England. This weather is ridiculous. So, last year, at this time, sunny, laying on blankets, getting a tan in the sun. I think I even had just like a sports bra on and like hanging out in the backyard with my daughters. It was fun. And then this year, the first day we can go out and get haircuts and nails done and everything else, it snowed. It snowed. Cold as heck. Snowed. 30 degrees. 30 degrees. And the sun is out. Thank you for that, Queen. And I'm talking to Queen Elizabeth. But like, what do you mean? First day free and it snows? I have to like watch where I walk because I slipped a couple times walking the girls to school. Okay, not school, to the bus. But so anyways, now we are here to 1 year later. Abby Izor and what she has thought of in the past couple months of not being on her podcast. 1, it's hard being an American in another country during a pandemic. And I hope to never experience that again. The British people have this keep on and carry on attitude that, I honestly wish I had. In my mind, every time England has a new rule, I'm just like, why? Okay, yeah, for the better of the group of people. I get it. Like, okay, and we want to keep people safe. Yeah. But like, you're not the boss of me. You're not my mom. My dad didn't tell you. Like, just, we want to, rebel against England. You want to know how many memes I saw of people wanting to dump tea in whatever water we're in? It's stupid. It makes no sense. And I mean no disrespect, but I think the British people have this incredible just way about them that they're just like, that's just how it is, guys. And they're so chill about it. And I need that. I need that in my life. I need that in my psyche because it's such a huge, so, okay, living here for 3 years, we felt like we acclimated really well. Everybody speaks the same language. We have wonderful British friends from Australia that, it's family now. And we've always assimilated very well. This pandemic, though, really brought out the differences in how I see myself. I am a through and through American, and I question a lot of like authoritative things. And this is gonna sound so strange, but okay, Abby Izor, I'm a huge rule follower. I won't do something if someone's like, well, I heard that, this one guy, he said that this other guy who makes the rule says not to do it. I'll be like, cool. The guy who made the rule said no, I'm not going to do it. Well, I know, right, Rico? But through this pandemic, I'm like, okay, Boris Johnson said no. All right. Is he sure? Because I think we'll be fine. Like, I think I'm gonna go do it anyways, and then if something happens, then just my bad. I mean, I didn't, but that's how I felt, and it was this weird struggle, and that's where the bass comes into play with all of this. It has been I would never thought I would say this, never, ever, but it turned into a blessing. I was able to go on base, and the BX is the BX is like the shopping and like the where there's clothing and makeup and like American things there. I was able to shop and walk around with a Starbucks with my mask on, of course, and social distance, and we had arrows to where we could walk and everything was separated, but I was able to feel a little bit like I was in America, and it was like a freaking vacation. And then I was able to go to the American commissary and get like American snacks, and even though that's every day, I could do that even with, you know, Primark being open today, I could go today. And they did take the arrows away, and which was really nice, so I can now kind of roam. But I was able to feel like there's a little bit of, you know, Abby hanging out, drinking Starbucks, getting my daughter cleats for soccer, because not even the sports stores were open here. And we weren't about to buy soccer cleats online. Excuse me. But it was just so nice to be like, hey girls, let's go to the BX. Let's just go real quick. We'll grab a couple things that we need, and maybe we'll kind of peruse the clothing section to see what they got. You know, just little things. And it was amazing. I get a little, like, not teary-eyed thinking about it, but it's more of like I grasped at everything I could of a little normalcy. And it just, even this past month has been hard. And I think it was because we all were seeing this light at the end of the tunnel, and it was so close. And then I think it was a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Boris was like, hey guys, we're a go. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but they back when we were locked down, they said, listen, we're going to try to keep this as our only lockdown, or the last lockdown that we have to deal with. And in order for us to do that, we have to lock down hard for however long. Honestly, I can't remember like how long it was, like through February or something. And they're like, and then we're going to reassess the situation and the numbers, because we're going to push out this vaccine and we're going to see how everything goes. Well, I think it was, you know, there's steps here and there, and they're like, yeah, we're go for the next step. And then they said, guys, guess what? We can open April 12th. Non-essential shops, hairdressers, nail techs, just all of it. And I think the whole country wept. Just like, thank goodness. Thank you. We need this. Something to look forward to. And I was emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's all these vaccines that are getting pushed out, and oh my gosh, all these people are getting vaccinated. It's awesome. It's awesome. Where's mine? Pardon the sniff. Nothing. We got nothing. And then I would, you know, the base would get a little bit of like, oh, you know, we have some shots available. Come and get them. Here's the sign up. And then I get to it and nothing. Like, freaking A. Like, how many shots are out there? Like, we have a new president now. Where's my shot? He promised me shots by, okay, at least by May. Okay, I can wait. Then we were able to, I've been checking the sign up for a while. They push it out every week, and I finally was able to get a slot Thursday for Friday. And then Jason, my husband, he signed up too, and I had another friend sign up, and so we all went together. It was so emotional. I was like, I can do this all the time. If we could just keep life going as normal, it's like it's the next step to normal. It was emotional. It was like I felt like I was part of the group of how can I explain this? It felt like I was helping with the next step of normalcy. And it was awesome. I didn't have any side effects. My friend didn't have any. Jason didn't have any. I just had a sore arm. And it just felt like there was a little bit of knot there for a little bit, but then it went away. It didn't hurt, but I did move it a lot. No big deal. And I am scheduled for my second one. And I'm so excited. It's like, I even started a group chat with my family. Like, we have a lot of group chats, but this is like, I started a group chat with like my aunts and my mom and my uncle and my grandma and cousins and stuff. And I was like, guys, I got it. I finally got it. I was able to get vaccinated for the first one, and I just feel so good. And I want to like shout it from the rooftops, like, guys, Guess what? I've been vaccinated! Yes, it's me. I'm part of the global outreach of trying to fix the world. Yes. Do we get tattoos now? Is there something that we get? I got a sticker. It was really exciting. And I was able to share that, with the people that I love and yeah, Rico, except for you. But I don't know, guys. It's been really hard. So, retrospect of this past year. It was a doozy. And I pray that this vaccine, even people who don't get it, fine. Not everybody can. But if we could figure out ways to protect those that can't get it by me being able to get the vaccine or my children or whoever, we're going to do it. So that way we can go back to normal. Whatever normal is, honestly. And yeah, I didn't touch on so much as the social aspect that was going on in the world, the social political aspect. There's a lot of people that are out there that are so much more educated than I am on those, because we've dealt with a lot as Americans, and living overseas and seeing how other people view what's going on, it opens my eyes every time we're overseas to see how we're viewed. And I think that if I, Abby Izor, can bring a little bit of sunshine into this world through this silly podcast, through my Facebook posts, Instagram pictures, all of it, that's my lot in life. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm always going to do it with the love and grace of God behind me, always. And I did lose I did lose a little bit of the feeling of I felt alone. And even though I have my beautiful, wonderful family around me, and I have my family who do support us from the States, and I have God, it was like I felt just like a lady floating. And that's not who I am. And I think, especially this past week or two, I've really started to cling to the Lord more. And it's my own personal thing. Whatever you guys want to cling to, we have to do something. We can't just cling to ourselves in these four walls, because it's nothing. What is this? We have to cling to something. Hope, grace, anything, really. So, all right, guys. That was my deep thoughts with Abby on A Moment with Abby. There's a lot more I want to say, but I want to keep this a look at our lives here in England for the past year. And then I'm going to have other little things I'm going to talk about in future episodes, and just keep this light again. Get back to, hey guys, use this as your way to fold laundry, for doing whatever, dishes, anything. And make it, we'll have moments of heavy things and then moments of lighthearted nothingness, as we all have grown to love. It's been a while, and it was really nice getting back into this. I don't plan on doing too much editing on this. I wanted to have this be a little more raw and a little more off the cuff a little bit. Like I said, I don't have a script for I don't know if I said this. I don't have a script for this one. Usually I'll have little plot lines, but I figured I needed to come on and talk from my heart and get it out. So thanks, guys. I don't know how many of you, honestly, we all know. Who do I do this for? My mom, my Nina, and my grandma. Really, that's who I do it for. Because my husband doesn't listen. It's our own joke. My husband's like, oh, you do a podcast? But I really do this for myself, my mom, my grandma, my Nina, of course. So hi, guys. And now I'm going to close this out with another good of the day. And it's been a long time, and I was doing those good of the days when I would put them out, and I need to continue that, because I need to have light in my life. So this next step of the good for the day is going to focus on something outside of ourselves, whether it's your faith, whether it's some type of meditation, like whatever you guys do to help focus and ground you outside of like who we are. Because honestly, like if we are too this is from my own perspective. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a degree in this. But if we are too focused inward on like ourselves, it just becomes very shallow. If you kind of get what I mean, we become very self-centered, and sometimes we need that in order to get perspective of where we are in the world. But honestly, this past year, that's all we've had the opportunity to do. So we need to, for the good of the day, take time to see where you get your hope and where you get your you get your positives from. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do today. And I know where I get my hope and my grace and my my forgiveness and stuff from. You guys get to decide that on. Oh, I hit the microphone. You guys get to decide that on your own. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. I appreciate you all. We're gonna get back to normal a little bit at some point. And I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be able to sit down and put just everything on my brain into the audio. So thank you for listening. Bye. Bye.